election cycles. I need to start this way, though. I do have to defend what was put together by the state party, and there's some accusations about the way we directed our meeting. First time I've heard this, by the way, about the cable TV. For the first time, there were a lot of first times. For the first time in the state party's history, legislative candidates ran cable TV ads. And we did target those bites, and they were innocent. And they were produced by free. They were produced free of charge by the former executive director of the state party, who now runs Redirect and was Mayor Becker's communications director during his campaign. So you probably saw the results, and we're gonna have some fun showing those ads. But they were, again, they were ads that we were able to put together, that put the Republicans on the defensive in that area where we cleaned up. And if they were saw on other parts of the valley, we thank Comcast because they were for free. Believe me, I saw the bills. I know which area codes and zip codes we targeted. Another message, though, I think is very important for everybody in this room to understand. And it's a good discussion. It's a good reason. I think it's valuable that we're having this campaign so that we can go out and talk about what's different. And what's different when we get attacked for running print ads. Ed Allen was one of those ads you saw here in Weber County. We had an effort put together by Pat Jones, Senator Pat Jones, the minority leader, to get involved in print media. And we had all of the bases covered. $22,000 in print media, $52,000 in cable TV, $50,000 in radio. For the first time ever, those things happened. And Senator Harry Reid also was involved in our message of putting the face of active LDS Democrats in the Deseret Hills. And I will tell you that we got a lot of positive response from the radio ads because of the aggressive nature of going after the Republican Party for everything that was wrong. And you can listen to all the messages about their fear. We know the fear. They were not maybe able to pass an ethics reform bill this year. But they did exactly what they think the voters will let them get away with. They passed something. And now I'm glad they did, because we got the issue again. We've got it again in 2010. Their failure, I mentioned this earlier, their failures will be our opportunities. But I want to talk more about what I think the four roles of the Democratic Party chair are. Again, we can have all the fancy messaging and all of that, but you have got to have the state chair, the party officers that can go out and get people to run for office. That I have done. Those that are opposing me have never done. They're the Johnny-come-latelys to the campaign. They'll find a candidate later. Right now, in this vital period of our growth, we need experience. We need somebody who can raise money. And for the first time in the history of politics, party politics in this state, the Democratic Party in 2008 raised more money than the Republican Party. We raised over $2 billion. Not only did we do that, but we were aggressive. Rob Miller, myself, Karen Hale, and others were working with the Obama campaign so that they knew who our donors were. We were introducing the national finance people that were coming to town and holding the fundraiser, which we had Barack Obama in Park City, we all know that, so that the Barack Obama campaign also raised $1.7 million in this state, outraised John McCain by double. Those are the Utah donors, both grassroots donors, organizational donors, and some wealthy individuals who believe once again in what we're trying to do. And they realize, and don't let any candidate be offended by this message, that we're not in it to win every race. But we're going to be pragmatic. I've told you before, we're not going to blow smoke at people and tell somebody in St. George or Cedar City that you get in this race and you're going to win this race. No, I've told them you can help us build the party and you can get to know your neighbors and your community so that we make a viable party which creates viable candidates. That we will not give up on, and I will defend it because it's been successful. So raising money is a critical part of this job, and you've got to prove a fundraiser. That's one of the reasons I'm asking you to re-elect me again in June, because the donors have told me that I have got to do exactly what I've asked the candidates to do, and that's be in this thing for at least 3 cycles. The other thing we talk about recruiting candidates, we've talked about raising money. Now let's talk about messaging. The general messaging, of course, belongs to the Democratic Party. And again, the party as a whole sets a general tone. And we, I think, have done an excellent job at creating a messaging program that lets candidates find their own niche. Of course, we own the issue of ethics, healthcare, and education in the state. Those are the issues we campaign on. But individual candidates, for the first time in our state party's history, were able to take our polls, because for the first time again, we were able to use national pollsters to run polls right down to legislative level in this state. And those candidates they're who the people are voting for. And you know it as well. People can tell you all they want, but if you think the same message resonates in Vernon that does in the avenues of Salt Lake City, you're in the wrong game. It's just not valid. It's not true. The same thing's true in Weber County. It's got a unique character. And we have to be adaptable to that. So the general message, I'm very proud of what we did in the last cycle with messaging. We brought in the top people in this state, and they did their services for free. We brought in a national organization, Fieldworks, to help us with not only the field plan, but the organizational messaging and the candidate messaging. The same group that was successful in coordinating and making the voucher campaign a great success. More importantly than anything else, though, the four roles of the state chair, I think, have got to be the most vital role is building an organization. Because it is true, if you build it, they will come. And we've seen more candidates come, we've seen more donors come, because we put a program together that's comprehensive. It includes our outreach to county parties, which is more aggressive than it was we were ever capable of doing. And a good example is Weber County. Because of the state Democratic Party's outreach and targeting program, 4 candidates in Weber County that we targeted were able to have 4 to 6, depending on the race, between 4 and 6 mail pieces delivered to every targeted voter in those districts. That's not happening. As you all know, I've said it, I'm proud of those candidates, and I know we're going to have growing success in Weber County. With all that said, though, I think that what's more important to this messaging thing is the reality. For the first time in our state's history, and we even went back to LBJ's time, the state Democratic Party was responsible for 12,000 specific Utah Barack Obama campaign signs and 6,000 bumper stickers. Not only were we able to produce them because we had donors who believed in what we were doing, we were then able to raise money off of those activities and get that money back into legislative districts. So, the whole messaging thing is a comprehensive effort. I believe with the help of the Democratic National Committee, we've had great success in getting on the internet. We know that that's important, but I'm going to say it one more time. Howard Dean says it. Howard Dean kind of brought this message of the internet's effectiveness to campaigning in 2004. But he's come right here to Utah, and he said we can get on TV and we can get on radio, and we get 1 vote for every 1,000 radio ads we run, every spot that's heard. But when we knock on doors and talk to voters, for every 4 doors we knock on, we get 1 voter. So what did we do in 2008? For the first time, if you came down, there were 32 staffers in the state Democratic Party office. Triple what the Republican Party had in this state. Because the donors believed in us, we had Karen Shepard interns working on campaigns, and we had our field organizers. And those organizers knocked on 100,000 doors in this state in 2008. And that's why we won elections. That's why we won elections, and that's why Utah, as I said, it looks as though we're 3rd in the entire nation for our percentage of Democratic performance in state legislative races. I think that's good enough reason for me to ask for your vote on June 20th to be re-elected to another term as state chair. I look forward to it. I do it because you guys are here. And believe me, it's not an easy job. It's one that I have been fortunate that I have not needed to take a salary. We've got a chair where we don't need to take the resources valuable to the state party and pay a salary for the state chair. And we've been able to use those resources in ways that help candidates. So I'm asking for your vote on June 20th, and please make sure you show up. That's the most important. Thank you very much.